So I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for her. This was actually her feature, and as poets find each other on the road, a lot of times we share our space because opportunities come more rare than they do for hip-hop artists and for singers. So, forgive them, Father, oh, no. They know not what they do. Yes, this is for everyone that voted. Forgive them, Father, oh, no. They know not what they do. They know not what they do. Sing it with me. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. It doesn't matter which of the 4 variations of my name I use. They always seem to stop me at least 4 times before I check in. They know my flying pattern. Months before I book the ticket, I can almost hear them whisper, keep an eye out for the bald-headed sister with the hoop earrings and silver bracelets. I have a reputation, at least 4 internationals, for being on edge when I come through. Ice grilling security, giving them fair warning not to do any extra shit to fuck with me. This time, I was half asleep watching airport TV, stressed out on 3 chairs, waiting on a plane that had mysteriously been delayed. The president was live in Philly. Watching from Memphis, I craved for 3 uncensored seconds to ask him why he doesn't spend that $80 billion on security in our subways, supply all the inner city school system with gateways, at least plant trees in the courts of tenements to provide shade on blissfully hot summer days. As I was blinking in and out of my sleep, he was standing safely in his homeland addressing the people of Iraq. I halfway overheard some bullshit-ass quote about him coming to end the reign of their oppressors, and they must have overheard me cursing the presidency on their 20th trip past where I was lounging, and finally, one of the TSA asked me how I felt about airport security while the president's speech bothered me. I stood and looked directly in his face and said, no matter how much time you take to make the flights delay while you escort every suspect to the plane, when we warriors of the underground finally reach everyone we decide to teach about the takeover, when the brothers on the corner realize the banks of America are financially supporting the ATF, when they get tired of working the street through the heat, the beast, and the growling stomach, it won't be hard to persuade them to use the weapons they were born with, and remind them to keep the chrome cop with a full clip. I didn't even blink when I noticed 5 more agents standing there. I guess that bitch thought I was supposed to be scared. I asked her, who do you think really invented COINTELPRO? We purposely set up in the slums so you remain oblivious. We initiate exercise programs in the gyms you give us while you rest easy, thinking you're helping the underprivileged. We use the facilities to train so the ammo won't be heavy when we decide to pay your politicians a visit. We've not forgotten. We've taken time to reorganize while you thought the revolution had died. Tell the president we're coming for America. Teachers will slip in test questions about Vieques. We'll see vendors for that supposed suicide by that brother in Hampton. All applicants will sit down and raise the right fist during the national anthem. We have not forgotten the little girls that burn in Alabama, or you support the apartheid in South Africa. Contrary to what you believe, our lives are not designed to evade and survive, but to handle each person directly, take over, and educate. So if the president's dumbass ever decides to have a draft, if we're forced to choose our superficial freedom versus fighting for a country that only remembers we exist when it's in a crisis, we'll instruct everyone to sit at home, wrap their feet up, and laugh. We've been trained to face the consequence. We'll opt for the overcrowded prison system because we know then they'll have to appeal to the upper class and they ain't leaving their 401ks and dental plans to chase holographs of Bin Laden and Saddam Hussein. We're coming for you, America. Activists will continue dropping wisdom until the masses sick it, until the lethargic listen, until the wicked are missing. I said, I hope that answers your question. And of course I had a crowd by now. Just one more thing before I sit back down. All this double and triple checking, my suitcase and backpack won't even matter. There'll be too many of us to capture. Your fear is why you have us all hemmed up here, because you know the truth is when the time comes, all you'll be able to do is run, because you'll not be able to hide behind any fucking bushes. You'll see the scars of over 4,000 years ago. Home tribes carved the symbols to mark them as the warriors in Cuba, the chiefs of Alaska, the kings of Sudan, the priests of the Taiwanese, so nigga please should not be in our vocabulary. Before Christ, 17 prophets persisted to change the stigma they got stuck with. Instead of degradation, we should encourage them. Father, I am blessed to be in your presence. Brother, you are strong. Husband, I adore you. Son, you are wonderful. Grandfather, you are special. Uncle, you are intelligent. There are real-life superheroes. I've seen them from a distance. Some may not see what I see on the bus in the dawn of the morning. I've seen their capes disguised as Averex leather jackets, their crowns as ball caps turned backwards. Where you see a metal case lunchbox or attaché, I see a secret compartment where he hides the last few dollars he saved to take you to Cirque du Soleil, hides that seashell he'll make into a necklace, hides his go-go gadget arms just to hold you tight with, and that orange hat I'm sure is a secret agent transmitter where he gets all the directions for his secret missions, how to talk to young brothers that won't listen, showing misguided adolescents how to handle confrontation when their integrity is questioned, never break during challenges, and give thanks for your blessings. Even a notice team never loses focus, always finds time to kiss his wife before rushing off to school at night. Sisters, your encouragement pushes them to study instead of clubbing, and they'll acknowledge you when asked what his goals include, and he responds, graduation. He transforms from scholar to father, using restaurant public bathrooms to switch suits, flies to pick up the children from the program after school. The 6-year-old tries to remain cool as father and son give each other that what up headline that makes the male greeting universal. There are real-life superheroes. I watch 6-foot corporate giants take the forms of teachers and leaders during Little League. You may even see them petitioning the city when crooked politicians were deciding which inner-city school district gets air conditioning, and they'll adore you for helping them with the red tape that takes to commit entrepreneur versus letting another state-funded higher learning institution rape them of every penny they borrowed from their families. And how dare we drool over the text of Lennox Lewis without acknowledging their dreams of becoming an athlete, and we do not fantasize over LL's lips kissing us on our split just to call it quits the first time we felt like it wasn't working. I don't see drug dealers and gangsters. I see young men knowing told they can make it. I don't see children out of control. I see young leaders that go without examples. I don't see elderly men without ambition. I see responsible individuals that sacrifice for their children. They are scientists by nature, planting seeds in the earth to birth creation. They are mathematicians by definition, one with the gods, the step before wisdom. Changing our demeanor will make them all visible. Spontaneously kiss them, I bet it makes a difference. Hug them, I bet they shed that skin that makes them so defensive. Be the example of patience and watch how quickly they reveal their true identities. I have come to know our black men not as brothers without direction, but as extraordinary humans, just waiting for someone to let them know, brothers, you are my superhero.
Word. Word. Yeah,
read y'all a poem. This poem is called Annie, and it's I've been meaning to memorize this joke forever. Sometimes you just write so many, you know, and try to memorize. Memorizing is difficult. It's emotionally draining. You have to say it over and over and over and over, and then like, you're like, wow, every time you like said it 100 times before the first person hears it. All right, so keep cursing me. I've been cursing. Oh, it's not a free country.
Everybody in here wrong.
This is
Oh, I'm sorry.
you are the free country.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Well, that's in this room. This I went to visit Ghana, not this past summer, but the summer before, and we went to go help a camp of little girls who had AIDS and HIV. Darling, rest easy, the morning is coming. Hey, 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 hey. Time out. Hold on. Have y'all seen the Nelly, the new album, the Sweatsuit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Darling, rest easy, the morning is coming. Hey, 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 hey. Similar to the lullaby my grandmother used to sing me, wrapping her wrinkled skin around my insecurities. Funny, the monster never come from under the bed when she was round, only winking one eye in my solitude. Shadows transform back to stuffed animals, and that old cat scratching Miss Johnson's just trying to get in. Never doubting my stories, her embrace was like being immersed in the smell of cinnamon. Her presence warm, and her voice sweet, lifting my 3-year-old body, rocking me, darling, besties, the morning is coming. Hey, 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 hey. In the morning, the raspy indigo of her voice reverberated like memories. Our secret code was pancakes and a syrup kiss. Adulthood would summons the ancient chant almost automatically, stored in the Rolodex of my private thoughts, called upon whenever the orange in my aura turned purple. shipping its way into blue. It was one of those nights in West Africa, and across sunsets are remains of mangoes melted into the dwelt of the sweltering of the midday, the spirits and punishment responsible for painting dusk. And I would pray as we would head north to Kumasi, the doctors in our camp would miraculously find medicine in the leaves, pull out a miracle like cartoon characters pulling out acme. Why couldn't we conveniently find a cure in the oils embedded in the history of our trees? Read each ring to find the ancestors we've been missing, an American. His company sent him to work in Ghana 6 months before. One night, as usual, he phoned home. His wife opened the envelope to his test results. It must be the food or the third-rate facilities. I must have touched one of them or lying in their bed sheets. He was uneducated about his options. He left around midnight and raped 5 children, said he would find a cure in the flower petals of a virgin, 9 and bright-eyed, bigger than the soup saucers I was forced to bring her. Annie was one of them. 12, she wanted to know if her vocabulary could be broadened. 12 and intelligent, she wanted her vocabulary broadened, so in heaven she could speak to God in English. He must be American. He never answered me in Chi. Funny, I prayed every night, but my father won't visit me. I whispered, I'm determined to learn Yoruba or Swahili so God will at least recognize me. And when she wasn't sleeping, she made me a vocabulary list. Madawase, Akwaba, Etese, Iye. I could barely concentrate. Shaking her bed frame, tell me what he looks like. I'll search the 650 million on the continent to find him. He ripped into her hymen, tore into that secret and raped her of her childhood, killing her with each thrust, tearing her walls until there was bloodshed. She said the best vengeance for our enemies is to let them live with their memories. Their deaths will be dark, not dark like black, dark like forgotten, and their souls erased from the history of the world. Besides, he couldn't steal my virginity. He may have damaged the vessel, but God saves it in a box in heaven, lined with angel feathers until my wedding. And I promised to make a tiara made of coconut hair. Why couldn't the myth be true? Let me find a monkey's blood for her wounds, but there's no drinking bleach to clean the disease, only AZT and a few other drugs reserved for the wealthy. A prolonged life is found in herbs and healthy eating. Ao, Dabe, Aduante. There is no food here, no nutrition in the garbage the Americans send us. Urban legend lies. Africans are not the ones most promiscuous. Our youth program cringes when planning a sex ed field trip to the free clinic. Panic when they take too long to study the sheets, glance around and hide their answers with their arms, palm the box that solicit the number of sexual partners, peeling back their fingers to reveal over 60 partners. I am silent during tonight's lesson. How can I justify how the U.S. claims to prevent AIDS in Africa when the same breath prevent to cease AIDS to Africa? Our promiscuous government that puts the finger to us in the Oval Office. Sitcoms that promote sexing anyone that helps us to forget our shortcoming. The FCC that bans Sarah Jones for female empowerment but lets Nelly flaunt teabagging. Over 1.5 million children under 15 are concerned if they're going to see their parents in the morning, when their biggest worry should be if their Little League team is making playoffs. Before she left me, I told her one last lie. My son, Abba, I am coming back for you. Eyelids stinging like needles. I couldn't stop watching. Eyelids stinging like needles. I couldn't stop watching. And she replied, Mable. My logic, if I didn't move, she wouldn't stop breathing. Counting her last breaths, I rocked her in the hammock I made of fresh linen, put wild flowers in her hair. I picked out her favorite dress and whispered atelier. The field was covered in over 30 small mounds from the children buried before her. The news came back to our camp before we left. The American was sentenced to death, and he confessed he contracted AIDS at home from his mistress in Maryland. He had been careless, Len, and blamed it on his business trip. Instead of being faithful, he gets 5 counts of murder. Even now, in the witching hour, sometimes the noise will wake me, and I know Annie has brought the children to hear me sing. In the mornings, I make them pancakes while humming, Darling, rest easy, the morning is coming. Hey, 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 hey. Darling, rest easy, only you know our freedom. Hey, 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 hey. For all of y'all that read, these two brothers that keep standing up, they were bigging up everybody on the stage. Like, it was tight, it was hot, it was hot, it was hot, it was hot. Like, both of them was like, yo, it was hot, she was fired, he was bad. Like, the whole in the middle. That's good that y'all support each other. We're all the beautiful women that make some noise, make some noise. hate her so much. Yes, she's very fake. I saw this picture of her and her like weave was coming up. I was like, see, yeah, real here. But this is for all of us women who continue to look at videos and still sometimes may get depressed or question if we're beautiful enough, if we're shaped the right way, if brothers still look at me in my afro and my red black and green skirt.
Yep. Word.
Yep. Word.
OBG.
So sometimes just because we write the poem doesn't mean that we're necessarily over the problems that it caused. So, little brown girls trace circles in gray misty mirrors to cover the image that flinches because their vision is conditioned by the system. Painting red lips under green eyes when the first guy pays her a little attention, she pays him a little pussy. Not realizing we're raping the way we're living if we allow outside influences to persuade decisions made on our physical condition. Flipping through the latest issue looking for an image to transition into because someone that lacked confidence in their individualism told her eccentric wasn't beautiful. The anorexic sister in the magazine is the role model for how she wants to be seen because no one told her superficial is temporary. No one told her more than reflection. She's carved from the beautiful red clays of Georgia, molded by the yellow-orange rays of the sun. Body's been naturally like the Mississippi River, kept fresh and moist by the tropical rains of the Amazon, bearing fresh and ripe fruits of the earth. But neglect has left in the spoil. Rotten the droughts of Tennessee, standing in the bathrooms of broken homes, hoping to attract the reactions of men with blushing foundations where Max is making Africans careless. Like the desert of the Sahara, makeup cracks midday, leaving her self-esteem shattered on playgrounds and nightclubs and smeared on pillowcases of strangers she's known for years. Young brown women trace circles in gray misty mirrors, putting fingers down our throats and purposely missed meals. We're tearing up our insides to try to fit in on the outside. We're fitting into pair of sucos doesn't make us invincible and makes us vulnerable. Relying on someone else's validation to make our life worth living. When the best love is self-love, we relax and become comfortable. A spirit that metamorphosizes inside, we glow compared to sunshine. So many times we ignore the quiet voices in our head to pass compliments to strangers we don't even know. But what we don't even know is you may have been the first one to tell them, sister, you're beautiful, or your eyes sparkle, or sister, you're fine. Because you never know if you've seen them for the first or the last time. We tend to pull back every time someone smiles or tries to make eye contact, afraid to let people read where our confidence lacks. Elderly brown women trace circles in gray misty mirrors, covering their grays with dyes, using creams and lotion to try to smooth out lines, erasing traces of wisdom, pinching, tucking, and lifting parts, having hung low as experience because no one told them their breasts now hold milk to replenish the earth in their eternal rest, hips widened to make resting places for grandchildren, listening to stories of the Angola 3 on midnight summers in the port swing. No one told them the real gift is losing physical sight to protect your souls from witnessing the tragedies women fighting for liberation will suffer in this life. Tonight, we realize the search for physical beauty comes from how comfortable we fit in our self-esteem, and the only genes we need have been passed down in our bloodstream. The only paint we need on our face are the tribal stripes of warrior women and the intricate details of a mask painted for a wedding. Tonight, women of all shades will trace circles in gray misty mirrors, comfortable with being natural, because I was told we have nothing to make up for. All right, I'm going to do 1.5 more and then
So one. Well, do you think she's
anybody in a relationship?
In a what? Now, what's that
Relationship.
called? I don't know what that is.
Like yeah, okay. Everybody in a relationship?
It's not in my vocabulary.
Okay. Are the people that you're in a relationship with, are they in here?
Oh, praise the
Are y'all
Lord.
together?
Hey, that's beautiful. Beautiful.
Hold on, we forgot. Two more people right there.
Oh, y'all be.
That's
No,
beautiful.
National Domestic Violence Month is every October, and this is unfortunate. We have a whole month to celebrate tragedy, kind of like Black History Month. So, I mean, we got a whole, you know what I mean? And I'm not old enough to remember Black History Week, but I was actually reading a book called Makes Me Wanna Holler by Nathan McCall, and he was talking about Black History Week. Like this, I was like, that is strong, beautiful black men and women, we no longer have to take abusive relationships. There is enough people for you to find the right person and for someone to love you for who you are. 28 like me, but you know, it's good. This poem is something I wrote after I got out of an abusive relationship. And you know how like you're in one, you can give all the advice in the world. You know what I mean? You can get out, girl, fuck him. But you'll be in the same thing, but mine's different. It's different. Y'all don't understand me. So
He's good to me.
this is for both men and for women. On June 10th, 1998, she had a choice. Something unexplainable was giving her warning, but she refused to listen to her inner voice. She couldn't place her fingers on it then, so she tried to pretend that this wasn't happening, that the love of her life wasn't acting, and ignored it. She convinced herself this was love. She knew her friends only told her to leave because they didn't understand them, but this was unexpected abuse. The kind that creeps in through the slightest crack of insecurity and surprises you. The kind where your only shield is your 45 minutes after midnight, where you're connected in peace, cocooned in the sheets, and the energy from the afterglow your bodies make have blinded you. The kind where words replace knives to cut through you. And no matter how much she tried, she couldn't trust anyone enough to talk to and ignored it. Prayed that he would change, that the words would change, and endured it. Not realizing that 4 years later she would bore the emotionally destructive behavior with pain and anger harvest. She thought the verbiage she used was cool because every single movie she watched or any book she read, the woman that the hero hurt the most would be the damsel in distress he would return to. And she wanted a happily ever after too, so in an effort not to lose the man that her heart would be the last to choose, she endured the blows to her soul. She believed fuck you meant I love you and I'm just mad at you. She thought the bitch was a term he used when he was pissed, but after 4 long years she realized it became habits. A sister said once that a new man will always know when a woman is used to taking abuse just by the way she allows the people that make up her circle to talk to her. So call me an extremist, determined never to be humiliated by love again. I am now paranoid of new relationships, won't let anyone get close enough to find happiness. And as soon as someone starts to show a serious interest, without even knowing it, I push them away because my subconscious has stored the flash film and burns, afraid and blinking neon letters across my gray matter. Because it doesn't matter if you're not finished loving someone. When they're finished loving you, the only question becomes, how much more are you willing to go through? What's the one thing people say after you tell them all your latest problems? Well, at least you still have your health. And so you have to remind yourself, without that, you damn sure can't save the world, much less yourself. See, one day in a deep conversation, I was told we all have that one special case relationship. The one that no matter how long it's been since you've seen them, as soon as someone breathes their name, it makes your insides flip. The months they stay away, you pray God would bring them back with a change of heart. Be careful, because God will give you exactly what you asked for. Could call you today and say, let's get back together, and you actually consider it. Please remember that abuse has no color, has no gender, and won't give you the game plan or specifics, and will only label you victim if you surrender. So, we're all the good men at.
Word.
So are the good men with cycle chicks, slashing your tires, breaking your windows, blacking out.
Summer 2003.
Woo.
2003.
10:35,
For
that's
all
right.
the good men that have women going through your things while you're not at home, breaking the password to your voicemail and answering your cell phone. For all the good men that stuck around because she swore it was the last time and begged you to stay, pack everything you can take in one bag and just walk away. For all the good women, where all the good women at? Good women? All the good women with bullies for boyfriends following you and your girls to the mall, cursing you out because you were spending his cash and forgot to call. For all the good women that have men that know when you're supposed to come on your cycle before you do. And it's all up in your face tripping because he's guilty of infidelity. Well, I explained to him all the stress he's putting you through has made you a few days late. Pack everything you can take, and if he stands in your way, tell him to call your brothers and his mother and just walk away. Because abuse is abuse, no matter how much you try to change it or shape it, and people will give it as long as you take it. Get back something.
All right.
I also have CDs available, albums. Actually, I have albums.
We get college discounts.
Yes, you can. I do give college discounts. I also take cash checks and credit cards.
All right.
Yeah, it's not a game. It's not a game.
Hey, shit,
Food
that's it.
stamps, WIC, yes. EBT, you guys got the cards you can go to cafeteria with.
Yep.
I mean, just get a sister a meal, you know what I'm saying? And the money that you guys put in the hat, I mean, in the basket, is also going to meet you too. So if you feel moved, you know, to give again. I'm not me for us. Because sometimes it's hard to ask yourself before, you know, the performance. I'm like, what do I give it to? You know,
But I told y'all she was tight, right?
so.
You was looking at me funny, I know you was funny. I just.
No, but you know how people are, they be like, yeah, motherfucker, perform, backflip. So,
He said backflip.
so this white girl said that ashés and dashikis don't make us Africans. So I said, FYI to white cats who think 6 months gel and beeswax will make your hair matte, dread caps don't make you black, nigga. When I say mathematics, shallow thinkers blurt out triggers at first reaction. When balance was what I'm after. My father died a mother. My mother's a social adversary. It makes my instinctive ride and move attitude the reason you love to hate me. I do this so my enemies can party when I'm buried, so my son won't have to worry. I told him endure tough times now. In the next 5 years, you can listen in the top 10 of the power 30. Even death threats don't alter my subject, so you suggest to make my message more passive is fruitless. I purposely write curses in my verses so the audience doesn't feel nervous inquiring if this is natural or rehearsal. And I tell them it's the first. I'm not trying to be cured. Therapy can end my career in poetry. If you're watching my life, wonderful. Listen to me carefully. Here's a quote. Tell the Pope to hire me. I touch more men, women, and children than a Catholic priest. I'm in heavy rotation from Cuba to Accra. You can't claim full time until you have flight patterns memorized. Promoters kick us heavy hitters to the bottom of the list because we chill how they wish they could live. I tell them you can't have anything good without sweating some regrets as a warning. Creoles don't have shit on my voodoo. If you're not careful, your crew will end up like NASA. Need another 7 assassins. I'm a night boy, a nigga. I shift shapes and shadows like Transformers. Organizing meetings at the store in the corner to get the blacks in the military to start making examples out of these crackers. Hanging from a burning rope by their throat and laugh as we sell their children away. And ain't no real brother gonna fuck a white bitch, so we'll use blunt objects to assimilate race. VA, baby. Home of the world's largest labor base. Legalized slavery. Indentured servants at your service. A floating jail sentence. And for those of y'all that wonder if poets sleep late, my answer is this. I know several y'all that sleep all day while you're awake. That's why at night we rally the masses to spoken word classes and make subliminal message as the DJ spins backwards. And it doesn't matter if audience members stand in front of me or block my view. I don't need to hear your description of freedom to guide me. Guide my eardrums to the front with your rhetoric, and definitely pure poetry enlightens me. But if you're dissing me, stand up straight and speak clearly. Otherwise, you can take the second option that might keep you safe. Get off the stage and move the fuck out the way. Move.
Word. I need my